Hello and welcome. Professor Philippi here. I'm back in my office. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about measures of variability today. One of the main measures of variability is this concept called variance. And the variance is a measure of variability that uses all the data. The variance is based on the difference between the value of each observation, xi, and the mean. The difference between each observation, xi, and the mean is called the deviation about the mean. For a sample, a deviation about the mean is written x minus x bar. For a population, it's xi minus mu. And you can always tell the difference whether they're talking about a population, which is always in Greek letters and capital alphanumerics, or a sample, which is always done in small letter alphanumerics. Just a quick tip on that. For most statistical applications that we're going to be analyzing, we'll be using a sample. But in this particular problem, I'm going to be using a population to give you some experience using population, exposure using population data. So let's look at this problem. We have a population, and it's a small population, 13, 31, negative 10, 17, 28, minus 22. And one of the easiest measures of variation is the range. And for the range, we take the highest number and we subtract the lowest. For this particular grouping of observations, 31 minus a minus 22, which gives us a range of 53. Now, to calculate the mean for this population, we add up all the observations in that population and subtract by the number of observations. For this mean, it's 57 divided by 6, which gives us a mu. Again, since it's a population, we use mu. If it was a sample, we'd use x bar, equal to 9.5. Now, for the next step in calculating the variation and the standard deviation, we need to subtract the observations by the mu we calculated. So we subtract the calculations by the mu, and then we square that term, and then sum up the squares. And one of the easiest ways you'll find to do that is a table. List out your observations, list out your mu's, go across, and square the term that you come up with, add it all up, and you'll find for this particular problem, we get a number of 2245.5. So our sum of the squares of the deviations is 2245.5. To calculate the variance, we take that sum of squares and we divide by the number large capital N, which is the number in the population. For that, we get a term of 374.25. Now, if this was a sample, it would be n minus 1, which would give us a different variance term. To calculate the standard deviation of the population, we just take the square root of our variance, which gives us a term of 19.35, which is our standard deviation and the measure of variation for this population. I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some idea and some of the simpler ways to calculate and do some of the homework problems. Again, like always, if you have any questions, do get in touch with me via Canvas email. We can always figure out a way to get you more information. With that, Professor Philippi here, and have a wonderful week. Remember, your homework is due Sunday night.